Hello, welcome back to the stream. How are we doing today? Man, feels like ages since I've been live, but it really hasn't been. Went live to do my match preview, and here I am live again, discussing that Southampton game yesterday. Now then, as we all know, well, as some of you will know, I couldn't actually watch the game yesterday. I was out of Wi-Fi. I say that like it's something you just run out of, but it's more like the Wi-Fi was off because some work was getting done to do with the house and with the Wi-Fi. To be fair, the Wi-Fi should be slightly better now, but beyond the point, I couldn't watch the Wi-Fi. I can watch the Wi-Fi. I couldn't watch the game. Is basically what I'm trying to say. And so I managed to somewhat track the game with data on my phone, and I obviously watched the highlights today when the Wi-Fi returned. By the way, big up 7 that is tuning in, do appreciate it. We've had MCFC Chris in the chat earlier, and we have Glimpse in the chat as well. You will still get UCL. I'm fairly confident we will. I just think we've made it a bit more nervous for ourselves now. But yeah, I do agree that we probably will get UCL, but I don't want to jinx nothing. But welcome to the stream, Glimpse. I hope you're well. I hope you are enjoying life at the moment. You didn't get relegated, which is cool with Hull, and you got to win. And you got to win against Liverpool not too long ago. So big ups to you, Glimpse. I know that's about a week ago now, but still. Check DM, bro. Long time no see. Love the content. Keep going. Well, big ups to you for tuning in. Let me just brush my hair. Sorry, it's just annoying me. Fringe getting a bit long now. I should probably give it a trim soon. Oh, nice. Bit of hair sticking up. Don't look like a mug at all. Okay, shall we have a look? Yeah, alright, I know what I'm looking at. I want to have a look at Man City versus Southampton, because this was awful to track. Chelsea lost 2-0 to Newcastle, red card for Jackson, and still top 5 on goal difference, IDK. How? Yeah, we're going to have a look at the Premier League table, of course, in a minute. Obviously, that is relevant to City too. Champions League football is not quite guaranteed for us. Absolutely ridiculous stats from City. Not in a great way. Now then, you look at this and you think domination, and to be fair, I don't think you would be wrong. Look at Forest form. Yeah, I know, it's not great. We will address the Premier League table, of course, and all the teams in the UCL race, because it is a big matter for us. But the 26 shots, 5 on target, 72% possession, 641 passes, 89% on target. Look, this was very clearly a game where Southampton sat back and just kind of took it all from us. Just sat back for 90 and tried to hang on, which is exactly what they did. And it's exactly how I think most City fans thought they would set up. But now, my first complaint is the starting 11. I don't really know what we were thinking, to be honest. With this, it's not for me. Left wing Phil Foden. I've always said for as long as I can remember on this channel, left wing Phil Foden don't work. Alright, so instantly you've got someone that ain't going to be playing super duper well. United 16th, Spurs 17th. Yes, both of them lost 2-0, and yeah, one of them will have Champions League football and a trophy at the end of the season. Phil Foden doesn't play forward passes. He doesn't. No, sorry, not Phil Foden. Phil Foden though doesn't play well on the left. Okay, I've not seen it for a long while. McAtee. I mean, he's not been too bad on the right recently, but I don't think that's where the biggest issue is. Look, for me, Bernardo, I don't know how well he played, but he doesn't play forward balls. He doesn't play a forward pass. He very rarely plays an attacking pass. It's not to say he doesn't attack. Like, I'm pretty sure he came one of the closest to scoring this, cleared a shot off the line. Do you think City will still get top 5 and win the FA Cup? We won yesterday. If we won this yesterday, would have been level on points with Arsenal. This is true. Arsenal are playing right now, aren't they? I have no idea what the score is. Let me get a look at that. Might be winning. Nope, currently losing. Love that. Now I want to watch it even more. 2-0. Lovely jubbly. Who scored? Gakpo. Nice. I've got the game on now. Liverpool scored 2 goals in 2 minutes. Was it actually? Yeah, it was. Yeah, 21st and 20th. Wow, that's crazy. Apparently finishing 17th gets you UCL football. I know, kind of crazy. Yeah, crazy stuff. Yeah, it's Lewis Skelly who enters the book. Anyway, back on. Oh my gosh, I can't believe it. I've not been sharing my screen this whole time. Oh, I feel like a right mug now. Look, okay, let's go from semi-beginning. I'm not going to repeat myself word for word. Phil Foden left wing doesn't work. It doesn't. I've said it for as long as I can remember on this channel, and anytime I haven't said it, I should have. I do not like seeing Phil on the left. That's my personal way of not enjoying him. And especially in a season where he's not been great on a whole. Bernardo Silva doesn't play forward passes. When it comes to playing on the ball, he just doesn't play forward. City. We need a player, right? We need players that are going to feed the ball to Haaland. Bernardo doesn't do that. Kova, for me, is the kind of player that will feed it into these guys who then will play it. So, really, your only creative outlets were McAtee, De Bruyne, Foden. Foden in a season where he's not playing very well. Okay, and he's playing on the left, so scratch him off. McAtee, who... I don't think of McAtee and think of creative player. I think of McAtee and I think of a attacking threat, threat to goal. So that leaves you with De Bruyne, the only guy that can supply Erling Haaland. Okay, the only guy that could do it properly. Of course, some players can slip in Kova and Bernardo from time to time, of course. But he's the only guy that I can really think of here that will play balls into him consistently. In fact, I'd say our most attacking, the best attacking threats on the pitch here for City, on face value, were Haaland, De Bruyne, and Vardy. Considering the season everyone's having, like I've said, Phil Foden, he's been poor this season. I wouldn't have started in this game. Just for me, not it. Now then, I also want to discuss when substitutions were made. I think this is bonkers. Marmoush got about 13 minutes of football yesterday. I don't know why. Number one, I don't know why you took him out of the team. And number two, I don't know why you made it this late. Okay, if you don't want to start Marmoush, that's fine. Okay, but when we need a goal, and this guy's been one of your most threatening players in front of goal, especially since Haaland's been out injured, why not play him earlier? Okay, we were clearly struggling. We were so clearly struggling. It's saying a lot of chances and close. But at the end of the day, it's not happening for us. You should have made the Omar Marmoush sub around here, earliest. Bear in mind, Marmoush was the closest player to scoring when he came on, hit the crossbar. What a crazy game, by the way. 4-2 in the first half. I'm going to talk about Diaz, by the way, because I really think it's so silly. And Ruben Diaz out, man. Out of the blinking interview room, that's for sure. to the back line, look, I don't know why Nico Riley got taken out, man. I had a scare that it would happen, to be honest. I had a bad feeling that Akanji was going to come back in. I don't dislike Akanji. I don't necessarily want Akanji out, I'm not necessarily in that club. I'm pretty sure he had a solid game, actually. But I just don't know why you would switch what was working. Nico Riley wasn't just being solid at the back, but he was also providing good attacking threat. And in this kind of game, you could very clearly go kind of all-out attack on Southampton. Akanji said himself that the closest Southampton really got to their goal was about 30 metres. Okay, that was like the most defensive work they had to do away from their own goal. 30 metres away. That's ridiculous. It shows that you were allowed to go more attacking. Marmoush gets the ball, scores a goal on Marmoush. Diaz rattled by one of the worst teams in Prem history. Barca goal offside. Ball slipped into Salah here. And look, when it comes to the rest of the subs, I would have started one of these two as well, by the way. Doku and Savino, you got to start at least one of them. They're going to have a run at the low block. It's so infuriating to watch. And to even read this, it's so infuriating. Now then, let's have a look at this, because it obviously needs addressing. In a moment like this, every point matters. It's obviously frustrating to play against a team like this. They don't try anything, just sit around. They don't even want to win the game. They just want to be there. It's not good for the show. It's not good for themselves. Not good for anyone. It is what it is. The funny thing is we do what Ramsdale did once, and straight away it's a yellow card. He does it 20 times, and it's just play on. Obviously, it slows the game down and it helps them consistently. But anyway, we had our chances. We tried to get in. We tried to be versatile, tried to be flexible. That's our job. But it was not easy to get in. If this was more like what he said, I think he's not done too badly. Now then, what I'll say on Ruben Diaz is, do you have a right to not be happy about this? Yeah, sure. Okay, obviously, no one likes to play against a team that sits back. Okay, but my question is for Ruben Diaz, and I guess the whole team. Did we think that Southampton, bottom of the league, were going to play end-to-end football with us? Pepper's a fraud and should be sacked in this second. Did we think that Southampton, who've conceded 82 goals and have scored the least in the league, were going to be going to end-to-end to us? Because I guarantee you, if they went end-to-end to us, we'd probably win that game. And they probably knew that too. Okay, they played to their own strengths, as they have all season. I say strengths very lightly, by the way. If they had one of the best defences in the league, I would agree. But they conceded 82. They didn't do this style of play just for us. They've done this before, and they've lost. They've lost. It's only on ourselves that we lost this game. Obviously, their game plan was to sit back and not lose, and they won in that sense. But it was our job to score. Just because we play attacking football and we like to look nice when we play, doesn't mean that we are guaranteed to win. We still have to do the work. Newcastle have Arsenal next winner goes second. Oh yeah, that's true. That is very true. Wow. Draws for Arsenal, really let Arsenal down this season, haven't they? Like second most draws in the league, I believe it is. Yeah, tied second most. Only Everton with more, and only It seems Palace and Brighton matching them. Even then, though, Everton have had more wins than Arsenal in the last 5 games at the moment. But yeah, were we expecting Southampton, who at the time were joint worst Premier League team in history? No. Okay, the expectation should have been going into the game that they were going to play sitting back and doing nothing. That should have been the expectation. But I don't even know. I don't even know what we were thinking, because it doesn't feel like we thought that. I'll tell you that much. But anyway, let's have enough of talking about blinking Southampton. Let's just have a look at the Premier League table on the whole. So, most of the teams have played now. All the important ones have for us, which is these 4 here. Now, we obviously want to finish in here. At the moment, we are 4th, but it is so close for us. Forest are 7th, Conference League spot, I believe. And they are on 62 points. Villa on 63 in a Europa League spot. Chelsea on 63 in a Champions League spot. City on 65. And Newcastle on 66. On 66. Now Newcastle, I think they're gonna be fine. You know, I think they're gonna be absolutely fine. I don't think they lose to Arsenal, to be honest, and they'll probably beat Everton at James Park. That's brilliant point for Man City versus Southampton. But look, for me, our final 2 games are Bournemouth and Fulham, not including the FA Cup final. We got to find a way to beat Bournemouth to begin. It's KDB's last home game, so automatically it's got that feel to it. We have to win that game. Okay, it should be a win. For KDB's last home game, we've got to score. We've got to win. We actually have to score that game as well, yeah. About to see Liverpool's first goal here. Nice long ball from whoever that was. Really nice ball. Just cuts straight through them. Oh, wait. Goes to a throw-in now. Yeah, lovely header. Lovely header. Imagine Chelsea lose to Forest on the final day and then lose to Real Betis and are in the Conference League again next season. That would be a huge fall from grace, wouldn't it? You're on pretty solid form going into the Newcastle game. I just think that red card really probably cooked you guys. I didn't watch the game, but it probably did you more harm than good, though, I'm willing to believe. About to watch Diaz's goal now. The good thing is, for City, is that, like you've quite rightly said, Glimpse, Chelsea have still got to play Forest. Newcastle have got to play Arsenal. Who have Villa played? Oh, blinking out. Okay. Villa have got 6 points. We've got to play Bournemouth and Fulham, who have fallen off from where they were in the league. You know, you've got to remember, Fulham and Bournemouth were in this area fighting for Champions League football at a certain stage. You know, but their form has fallen off inevitably. Oh my lord. Wow, that was a nice little game plan from Arsenal. The whole team got caught offside, but Saka slipped straight through. It's called Liverpool napping. It was a nice set piece. Just couldn't finish. Lucas Mendes, welcome to the stream. My name is Lucas, is what I think you're trying to say. I think. I'm going to watch your Prem predict. Oh God, don't cook me too hard, man. But you probably will need to because it was horrific. I know that for a fact. Horrific. So Chelsea's still got Newcastle and Forest. No, not Newcastle. Who's their other team? United. So they'll probably win that. But they still got Forest to play. Villa, like we said, and Arsenal final day. Who you playing? Okay. So look, Chelsea and Forest will drop points because they both need to play each other. And Newcastle and Arsenal will drop points because they still both need to play each other. We've got to beat Bournemouth next week, because imagine we beat Bournemouth, Newcastle beat Arsenal, and then we go above Arsenal in the Premier League, and so do Newcastle. We go third, Newcastle goes second, and Arsenal slip into fourth. Tottenham third. Oh, gosh. God. Oh, man. I need to be hung out to dry, don't I? Oh, man, what a prediction. What a prediction. Rodrigo Kirkez and Gibbs White. I'm done after that. Well, is that what you want for this summer? I think I'm after a bit more. Looks like Liverpool are going to get Frimpong, by the way, so, say goodbye to your dreams of getting that done. To be fair, you're in the right sense that one of them will be in the UCL that season. Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking. That's exactly what I was thinking, Glimpse. Man, I don't know. I really thought that there was a light at the end of the tunnel with us. We should be all over Kirkes. Yeah, I agree. Actual left back, good attack and play too. I think we should absolutely be going in for Kirkes. I absolutely agree. But in terms of the Premier League table and the Southampton game, that is for me mostly done. If you want to revisit that, then we will revisit that, I suppose. But before that, we shall have a look at a report I saw earlier. You might as well see this tab now. Oh, wait, I saw it on Instagram specifically. Enjoy that silent highlight of Kevin De Bruyne. I saw it on Instagram, so I'll just go on there and show you it, because that'll make my life easier. Hey, Napoli trying to get Jonathan David. Looks like the first team to try swoop on that. So, let's have a look at it. Yeah, I was thinking they would finish 17th and win Europa League, wasn't that obvious? Yeah, I know, right? Do you want Rodrigo goes? We've got lucky with results, says Marcus. Welcome to the stream, bro. Hope you're doing well. I don't think I've seen you here before, but you're more than welcome here. Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna have a big look for the whole season soon. After the Fulham game, a couple of days after that, I'm gonna do a huge stream reviewing the whole season, just looking at the start to the finish, and yeah, seeing how we get on there. Do you think Chelsea will beat Man United and Forest? I think you're beating Man United at the bare minimum, and Forest are kind of falling off, so I wouldn't necessarily doubt you there, to be fair. But let's have a quick look at the two signings, well, two players we are eyeing up in the same position here. Man City have apparently verbally agreed personal terms for Juventus right back Nicola Savona. Nicola Savona, not Cambiasso, who is another Juventus fullback. For now, actually, we'll start this as it seems to be more relevant. Now confirmed by Sky Sports, Lyle Thomas and Mark McAdam City are interested in Flamengo right back Wesley, the 21-year-old who could cost as much as £30 million, is one number of many of the names players are looking at for this position at right back. And then we go over here. So we read that bit for now. Flamengo Wesley remains City's first option for the role and has already said yes to a move. With club-to-club talks needed, Newcastle's Livramento is second option, but it depends on the asking price. So, for me, a lot of people might sneer at. Can you see the Rodrigo news? I'll try to find that soon. If you could tell me where you've seen it, like if you've seen it on City Extras, seen it on Pletty Fabrizio. No, if it's on Fabrizio, then I'm surprised it's not on here. But yeah, let me know and I'll go have a look at it. Now then, if you're a bit worried of these signings, because I didn't hear about either of these guys before I saw these City Extra posts. If you're worried about these guys, try not to be, because thing is, Hugo Viana, our new sporting director, he's going to be the new guy in charge of signings, taking over Tiki. Hugo Viana at Sporting Lisbon. Okay, to be honest, I would go watch my video I did on Hugo Viana and his sign. You know what? Actually, I'll pull it up because genuinely, probably some of my best work in terms of showing you signings he's made and then how much they've gone on to be sold for or how much they're worth now. So I'll go and quickly show you it. Wait, there, I've got that ad skip through. Come on. There we go. So, shall we skip over to here? Now then, don't mind me. Here I am. Maybe there's a better picture of me. Nah, that'll do. So, here we are. This is how much he bought for, and this is how much he sold / what they're worth now. Gyökeres bought for 24 million from, I think, Coventry. I'm not too sure. Now worth 70 million at the time of recording. Rafinha now plays for Barca, absolutely cooking. Bought for 6.5 million, sold for 21. Hjulmand bought for 19, now worth 40. Goncalves bought for 13, now worth 32. Pedro Porro bought for 8.7, former City player, now sold for 40. Diomande bought for 7.5, now worth 40. Ugarte bought for 24.5, worth now sold for 60. And Mateus Nunes bought for 950,000 and was sold for 47 million. Okay, and then if you want to have a look at just some of his general business, because he wasn't here for when these players got signed, he was only here for when it came to selling these guys. Bruno Fernandes got sold for 65 million to Manchester United. Palhinha got sold to, I think, Fulham, got sold for about 25 million, and Mendes got sold for 38. Bottom line is, this guy brings in money. He brings in a lot of money for the club. And removing these, he's bought in about, give or take, about 220 million. 220 million into the club, and he only spent 105. So he has doubled in terms of his outgoings and what he bought him in for. He's very good at making out there signings and turning a profit on them. He's very good at that. If you search Rodrigo to City, there's a load of CX posts, and including Arsenal the goal back. What is Hugo Viana playing at? At West not Sporting, we need proper players. True, I get what you're saying. We have the money now to go. Hugo Viana's got the money now to go and sign a Florian Wirtz, to go sign a Rodrigo, for example. He has that money now. But what I'm saying is that I wouldn't worry too much about his recruitment. If he finds a player and he's sure about it, I wouldn't worry too much. I think it's I think I trust him for now. Okay, remember he's new and his reputation is pretty flipping good. So I wouldn't worry too much. Okay, don't get me wrong. If some of these signings get made and they're just awful, okay, and suddenly they're a waste of money, yeah, that's then let's worry about it. But for now, I would trust it. Now then, let's have a look at Rodrigo to Man City, because why not? Rodrigo to Man City. Oh, blinking at Riz not sharing anything. Let's have a look. Should we add CX on the end? A lot of this from December 2024. Man City's transfer update. As Real Madrid wants to sell Rodrigo, Man City wanted to sign him last summer. Words from Spain suggest if that is the case, Rodrigo wants to make the move to the Etihad. Apparently, he rejected an important offer from City back in about December, and apparently we offered around this time too. See, I just don't know. Okay, my thing is I really don't know on Rodrigo. Okay, don't get me wrong. I don't. I watched back on when you can see the 2 goals for 2 minutes for United. Big of slight glimpse. The thing is with Rodrigo, he's obviously a very good player, and would I take him at City? Absolutely. But you see, these rumours always come around. They always come around for us. They always come to Man City. He's not getting a game at Madrid. Ardagulla's starting. I do think Rodrigo, if anyone's going to leave Real Madrid, I think it's him. Because he's getting, rightly or wrongly, he's getting outshone by Mbappe, Bellingham, and Vinny Jr. And, well, like you've said, Ardagulla. You know, there is no doubt that Rodrigo is a top player. Like, 23 goal contributions this season. Certainly not bad. You know, last season, you know, we'll go there. I feel that way. Oh, there we go. You know, last season, 27 GNA, you know, certainly respectable stats, and a lot more than City players are getting right now. So, look, for me, Rodrigo's obviously a very good player. You know, I don't think there is a doubt here. And again, I think if anyone wants to make the move, it is probably him. Now, then, there have been injury concerns. I mean, just look at that. 6 injuries in the treble season. To be fair, none of them went for more than 3 games missed. You know, this season he's missed 6 games. Treble season he missed 8 games, 7 games, 12 games, 4 games. So, look, to be fair, despite a relatively long injury list, none of them seem to be serious. And look, they've recorded the same one 3 times as well. You know, they've recorded the exact same one 3 times for some reason. He's always praised City as well. £85 million. Hi, Frosty. Welcome to the stream, bro. How you doing? Yeah, my stance on Rodrigo is that these reports always come around, so I just don't really trust it anymore. You know, of course, I would take him. I would absolutely love to have Rodrigo, and I think I'm good as well, Frost. Big ups. I just think Rodrigo, I think he wouldn't mind coming here, but it just depends on his mentality on it. I think he's obviously a very good player. You know, like I've said, I think Rodrigo is a top player and deserves to have some spotlight because it is all being hogged by Bellingham, Mbappe, Vinny. You know, that's just going to happen. That's what it's going to be. You know, the trio isn't Rodrigo, Mbappe, Vinny. You know, it just isn't. The trio is Bellingham, Mbappe, Vinny. You know, that is the trio. You know, you could say, oh, they're not a trio, they're a quad. They're not a quad. You don't do quads. You know, I've never known I've never known them to say that. I've never known a quad, you know, apart from like trying to win one in football. But you know, like for example, it's Messi, Neymar, Suarez. It's Xavi, Busquets, Iniesta. It's Bale, Benzema, and Ronaldo. It's Bellingham, Mbappe, Vinny. There are no quads in football. There just aren't. Rodrigo and Man City, to be honest, we knew they were better. For me, they are the best team in the world. The one that plays the best football last season. Yeah, I do remember reading that interview. It's clear that there was a lot of mutual respect, I feel, with him. But also, I wanted to add, I also remember in treble season, he said that he only had good words to say. You know, he said that. No, you remember when we lost to them in the Champions League 3-1? You know, that awful day? And then they went on to beat Liverpool in Champions League final, okay? He said that the hardest team Real Madrid played against was Man City, okay? It's quite funny considering we didn't even make it to the final. You know, it's a little jab at Liverpool and a little bit of praise for us. I don't think Rodrigo's impossible. I think if we actually offered Madrid, I don't think they would outright say no. Because if you put in an offer for Mbappe or whatnot, I think they say no. But I wouldn't write it off. It all depends on Rodrigo's love for it, you know, for Real Madrid. And it all depends on how much he wants to get out there and play more football. Okay, bear in mind, he's not played no minutes this season. He has played a lot of minutes, but for example, he's only been starting 11 65% of the times. He's only played 63% of the minutes. And he doesn't participate in the goals a lot, because I imagine Real Madrid players don't target him the most either. I imagine they do target their main striker a bit more. I imagine they do target Vinny Jr. a bit more, who was their Ballon d'Or runner-up for last season. And I imagine they target Bellingham as he came third in the Ballon d'Or too. You know, again, I imagine they do target them a bit more. Now then, by no means am I saying if he just joined us, he would get 40 goals a season. But I'm just saying maybe he participates a bit more in that sense. Thinks of an Alvarez where he plays a lot but not a lot. Yeah, I can understand that. Now then, Mbappe and Vinny don't know how to pass to Rodrigo. There you go. Now then, let me have a look at something now. Now then, if you don't know, Man City's home kit is going to get dropped on May 13th, I believe it is. Man City home kit. This is roughly what Man City's home kit is going to be. I think you get the idea. You know, I've seen a lot of images. This seems to be the one, to be honest. You know, if it's not going to be this, it's going to be something very similar. I don't know what I think yet. For me, I've got to see it on the players, and I mean a bit more than this. You know, I actually want to see it on the players. Yeah, I want to see the top. This is obviously fake. It's AI. But, look, first impressions, I don't know. Again, it's hard for me to make a first impression. I've got to see it on the lads. I personally don't like it. Mbappe ego is just bad. Glad we dodged a bullet. I want a Nike sponsor. I just want Adidas to do our kits because I just think they cook every year because they tend to. The only team I don't really feel like they cook with is United, to be honest. You know, we're stuck with Puma till 2029, so we're going to have to deal with it. But yeah, I've got to see this kit on the actual players, to be honest, before I can make actual judgment. This is going to be our Club World Cup strip. I like this shirt, to be honest. I actually do like this shirt. I do not like this shirt. I think this shirt is hideous. You know, I'll just say it. I think this shirt is absolutely abhorrent. It somehow looks more empty than the other one, despite having seemingly the same pattern on it. It looks this is so much nicer. To be fair, it's inspired off of a kit that was basically this back in the day. I know it's AI generated, but still, there's another pic of the kit. And that is going to be the shirt. Second one, good. Yeah, I actually love our away kit. I love our away kit. Can we get a quick look? Oh, it's not that. Oh, come on. Bro, they show me every single one, apart from the one. Maybe 25, 26. We'll give them a bit of inspiration. Here you go. I think this is lovely. Okay, look, guys, if you don't know, I adore shirts that have collars. I think collars look beautiful, okay? You know, this is one of my favourite shirts they've done recently, and it has a collar. My favourite City shirt of all time has a collar, apart from the treble season shirt. And the away kit's nice. If we sign Rodrigo for Club World Cup, repping our kit, our new kit, that would be gas. But for me, you know what? I think City have got to start cracking soon in the transfer window. I'm not seeing any reports. You know, any worthwhile reports. I know we just looked at Rodrigo reports. I know we've had a look at some reports on a right back. But look, I want us to be a bit more proactive, is what I'm trying to say. And I'll show you why. I want us to be a bit more proactive, and it's because Arsenal have got here we go already. Yeah, and to be fair, this deal was getting done in January. I remember it was going on. Ornstein reported it initially. This deal was already happening. And Frimpong as well, similar story. I think, no, Frimpong is new, to be fair. Sorry, again, I was on autopilot. You know, Arsenal and Liverpool looking to improve already right now. They ain't even got a Club World Cup coming up. You know, they've got no players to add in. Okay, we do, and we're not doing anything. Nothing worthwhile anyway. Okay. I just want us to work a bit quicker. Work with a bit of urgency, because we just aren't right now. We just simply aren't, to be honest. You know, they've got here we go already. This is probably going to happen. It just all seems to be going that way. You know, just a bit frustrating. 4-3 full time here. Mbappe got a hat trick and didn't lose. Not his first time. No, and didn't win. Not his first time doing that. Just focus on Kirkaz. Frimpong to pull us down. Yeah, I don't doubt that's going to go through now. Helps that he's also, you know, the boss is also Dutch, which obviously does play a factor in stuff. But yeah, for me, focus on Kirkaz. Focus on a signing. Focus on a player that we need. For me, we've got to start looking at Wirtz, because Bayern Munich will come onto that. We've got to start moving. We do. We absolutely do. We've got to start moving. Because at the moment, we're just stagnant. But look, I am going to wrap it up there. I feel like I talked about what I wanted to talk about. You know, the kits, transfer rumours, the right backs, Rodrigo. Vista Bayern is done. I'm sorry, man. I'm still holding out hope, but we'll have to wait and see. Big ups to everyone who tuned in. You know, RTD Edits, Frost Fury, Glimpse, Lucas Mendez, Marcus, and everyone else along the way. HFC Vlogs, I believe, tuned in. Thank you all, and I will see you all in the next one. Oh, one more thing. I am live on Connect Gaming in 40 minutes playing Expedition 33. New game. Feel free to play. Anyway, big ups to you all. See you later.